Recording in progress.
Good evening. 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. This is the City of Franklin Common Council meeting. Madam Deputy Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Mayor Nelson.
Here.
Alderman Pecorelli.
Here.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Here.
Alderman Hassan.
Here.
Alderwoman Day, excused. Alderman Barber.
He's coming in slowly. He is here. Mr. Barber is here.
Alderman Craig.
Here. Excellent. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to move on to citizen comment period. Now, there's also copies of the rules of decorum over there. I've read it at nauseum. I'll be keeping time up here with the 3-minute rule. Please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record, and 3 minutes. Anybody wishing to speak, come forward at this time. If you want to speak after that person, please line up. If not, we're going to close it.
My name is Claire Vichik. I live at 8980 West Hawthorne Lane. And I really didn't think I'd have to be here again complaining about the racket from the rock. I won't even call it music because it was so obnoxious. It was the worst it has ever been. I mean, after all this turning the speakers, I thought everything was settled. It was the worst it has ever been. How those people that live near can tolerate it, I don't know, because I'm a bit away. Couldn't sit in my porch. Unbelievable. I did talk to the mayor. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes,
I mean,
ma'am.
it's like torture to people. Do you understand? How can he just so brazenly, he has no empathy for anybody. I feel so sorry for people that put their money in their house and have to live under the conditions that we have to live under. It's like torture.
Thank you, ma'am.
Danella McAdams, 8735 West Hawthorne Court. I understand, Mayor Nelson, you had said it to make it work for the neighbors and for the rock, and I understand that. And it has improved. Our neighborhood is not to where it was before they came in here. We can still hear the ball games, we hear fireworks, but it's livable. I'm speaking for myself. So I don't call, I don't complain, but what happened on Sunday is again ridiculous. And so citations, all this, obviously it doesn't matter. My kids have been in school for 3 weeks now. Sunday night at 9:15, they still could not do their homework in their bedrooms because we could hear it in our house with our windows and doors closed. So when is enough enough? 2 years of tacos and tequila. They violated, you could hear it all through the neighborhoods. And it's not just the people that show up, the other people, I have texts that are like, this is ridiculous, but they don't come to the meetings because nothing's going to happen. That's what they feel that, and really with these types of things, these special events, what happens with 3 strikes, you're out? The citations don't matter. Stop giving permits for this stuff. And once it's quiet, great, have at it. But what went on Sunday is absolutely ridiculous. Enough is enough.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Linda Mathwake, 7321 Brun Drive. Comments are similar. I wanted to begin tonight asking the question regarding the event at the Rock Ventures on Sunday, September 1st. I would like to know what the specific decibel limit was on the permit for this event. Do you know what the decibel limit was?
Yeah, we verified it. That was 55.
55. Thank you. I'm holding the Common Council accountable for decisions you have made regarding the noise ordinances in Franklin. Your accountability has fallen extremely short of the expectations of this community. My understanding was the event began at 1:00 p.m. and ended at 10:30 p.m. I only analyzed the West Monitor, but the average or the LAEQ decibel reading was at a low of 75.7, which is exceeding 55 decibels. and the highest was at 82.6. Out of the 37 recorded readings, 35 exceeded 76 decibels in the report. There was only one or two that were below like 75.6. Sharing again, the LAF, or the maximum sound level, reached a high of 96.5. This report had a new column which was labeled most likely source. Some of the descriptions were explosion, helicopter, train. These noises are acceptable for short periods of times, but for 9.5-hour event is unacceptable. I have a few more questions. This has been going on for too many years. What will it take for you, the council, to bring the noise under control? There have been clear violations throughout the summer. Why is the police department not issuing citations or fines? Why are the events allowed to be held if repeated noise ordinances are abused? Maybe the Common Council should consider telling a venue that if they exceed the decibel limit at one event, it may jeopardize the remaining events for a year, even if a permit was previously approved. I live a mile away from the Rock, and I can hear this in my backyard. If the decibel limit should not exceed 55 at the property line, I should not hear this in my backyard. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kerner?
Good evening, Dale Kerner, 8630 West Hawthorne Lane. I'd like to speak to somebody with authority, but I guess they're not present tonight. My whole Sunday was ruined. It started off at 9:30, 10:45. We walked up by the Rock there. We talked to members of the Rock. The one lady, I don't know what her name is, she works for the Rock, and she told Jason that the 55 was a misprint and she's going to play it as loud as she wants. I couldn't put up with the noise. I left. I came back home around 8:30, and it was the worst I've ever heard it, the noise in that.
Mr. Kerner?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, so Alderman Craig was there,
Right.
and a member of that organization said that it's,
Was
they're
there-
well, I understand the misprint part, I can
Right.
talk on that.
Yep.
But that they would play it as loud as they wanted?
At 65 or above.
Oh, 65.
Yeah, well, they can say
Well,
what they
I was
want.
surprised to hear that from a member of the organization.
Yes,
They've
yeah,
been wonderful.
they were very blatant about it. It's like, it'd be like a police officer pulling you over and say, you're doing 55 and the speed limit says 35. I go, well, that sign's wrong. That's basically what she was saying. And
Thank you for the clarification.
yeah, I called the police department, I think 3 times. I filed an online complaint. I've been doing this for years. Never got a response yet to this day as far as online complaints. We just don't know where to go anymore. It's just, I even said to the dispatcher, I said, hey, if Franklin Police can't handle it, I'll call the sheriff's department. Because evidently you guys are understaffed or something, I don't know. But it should have been shut down once they violated the 55 decibel. And thank you.
Good evening, Joy.
Good evening, Mayor. Hello, I'm Joy Draginas-Zingales, 7573 Highview Drive, Greendale. I'm going to speak on the sound check that we did on Sunday as well. And yes, Mayor, what ended up happening regarding Alderman Craig explaining to The Rock once again that once he had spoken to you, that the permit stated 55 decibels at the property line. There was a lot of agitation on the part of, I think her name's Corinne, I'm not sure, the blonde that comes to these sound checks. And she was on the phone, we don't know with whom and whatever, and that's okay. But Alderman Craig tried explaining numerous times. Listen, I talked to the mayor. He stated that, yes, it's 55 decibels on the permit. The police are aware, so on and so forth. And she said, well, we're just not going to operate at that. We're going to operate at what we've always operated at, and that's 65 decibels, and drove off. I couldn't believe what a blatant disrespect to the alderman, to you, Mr. Mayor, and to the city board, as well as the neighbors. This is uncalled for. It is unprofessional, and it's inexcusable. If I were to behave this way, I sure as hell wouldn't get the hall pass. We also have situations where we've had numerous violations that have gone issued, shall we say. I don't know if I was driving down the street and got a DUI and went home and got in the car again and got another DUI. The police don't say, oh, it's on the same day, we'll just stack them for you. And Mayor, you know that. You're fully aware that the law would never allow that. Why are we allowing this and making these excuses for this development over and over and over again? It's not once, it's not twice. This is 10 plus years. What we're asking is for everyone to be held accountable. Let's all just stop the foolishness. Let's get down to business. Let's be respectful, and let's do for the neighbors as you would all like done for yourselves and your family. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Before Dana speaks, I'm only assuming Dana's going to speak. I don't want to assume. But before Dana approaches, or you can approach, I just want to answer a few things and give a little bit of perspective on how that all went down from my end, is that the copy of the permit I had, and it said 55 decibels with a sound check. Then speaking with staff at the Rock, they were very sure that it was actually 65, and that should have been put in as 65. And my comments to Alderman Craig were, well, we'll figure it out Tuesday, but we're going to have the sound check, we're going to have the event, and it's going to move forward. So that's where we were with that. And as far as noise complaints go, they go to the PD meaning the police department. I spoke with the chief about this, and they're going to be reviewed, and proper police action will be taken. Now, that means issuance of a citation, issuance of a warning, whatever it is, but if it does go to a citation, remember, there's a process. So however the judge feels and how that's going to work out is how, and that's the process of a citation. It's not a crime, it's a citation. So that's just, I want to give a little bit more perspective on where we're at. I spoke to the chief on Sunday after my discussions with Alderman Craig. I spoke to the chief this morning. So I know Deputy Clerk has gotten a lot of, a number of complaints from many of you here, and they're being dealt with. And like I say, the PD is doing their part of this. So it's not being blown off, it's being addressed. All right? I know. It's either you got to come back up here or we're going to move on to Dana.
They couldn't have been more respectful.
So we're
It's
still,
the
Joyce, just for the record.
Joy
Joyce
Dragones
still on the-
Zingala, 7573 Heavy Drive. They couldn't have been more respectful, and I thank them because it is truly the first time we have ever been treated with respect for our concerns. The officer called me. He came to my home. We had a great conversation. I want to thank you for that, Mayor,
I
because
think
we
that's
really
Sergeant
appreciate
right behind you.
It is.
Sergeant, for the record, to
Absolutely.
call Alderwoman, that's Sergeant Paddock.
Yes, and I was actually very pleasantly surprised. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, PD, because it is greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Good evening, Ms. Gint.
Good evening, Dana Gint, 9011 West Hawthorne Lane. I just want to read a couple documents because that's what I do. In April, the extraordinary event comment form from the planning, this is the police department comments. It says the noise level is a concern. This is an open air venue positioned even closer to the neighboring subdivisions. If the permit is issued, we are requesting that the established maximum decibel level be on the event permit. Okay, so then it was. It's 55 decibels. Okay, and I don't know about this typo or whatever. And also, I want to be clear that representatives of the Rock said that all the large events are approved at 65 decibels, which I am quite sure that was never discussed. I know the city administrator said that there is no blanket approval for any events, that each one is a separate approval. The Rock representative said, no, all the large events are 65 decibels. So is that what's going to be at the Halloween? Is that what, I believe that was what was approved for the taco, which obviously they exceeded the decibel levels numerous times for that. The planning staff says, and this is April comments, the city development staff is concerned with the quantity of extraordinary events applications for this site, including the summer concert series, 24 dates, Hills Has Eyes, 20 dates, Tacos and Tequila, 2 dates, fireworks, 9 events. So you can see that this is an ongoing issue of dozens of events that are extraordinary, that the noise is heard for miles. I believe that there should be, I know the Taco Tequila had a report, like an event report shortly after the event that should be on the agenda for the next meeting. And it should include what is being done about the complaints. There was 43 complaints regarding Tacos Tequila. There was no information how many citations were issued or what information happened. It just was a statement of fact that there was 43 complaints filed.
Well,
So-
to respond, and again, the tacos and tequila part, and again, there's a lot going on, wasn't an issue. It was the next day at the Phase Fest was the issue. And what we'll do is we'll have some statistical actual data to present. I understand your request for next meeting, but next meeting's all about budget,
Okay,
probably the next one after that. But there will be one that'll have what you're looking for.
Okay.
And we'll discuss it, and we'll, as a council, come to,
okay, I appreciate that. So the June, the Taco Tequila event in June, were there citations issued and how many for the Taco Phase Fest or
I-
whichever one you want to
I
call it? They
don't-
were both loud, so.
I don't know what was issued or not
Okay.
issued, but we can get that information from the police department.
Okay, because obviously when there's 7.5 hours of noise above 70, up to 80 decibels, can you see this on the camera? This is one of the readings from the West Monitor. Red is above 60 decibels. This line where all these are touching is 80 decibels. This is just one snapshot out of dozens that I have. And I also did readings in the neighborhood and they were 70, there was 69 to 75 decibels in the neighborhood in front of people's houses like Bob Knowles, the Zubiris and Zermananskis. So that's what was going on for 7 hours. There needs to be multiple citations for 7 hours of torture. It actually was increased by volume. I'll send you the emails with the snapshots that it actually increased in volume. So even though I believe the police went out and probably asked them, can you it's above the decibel levels, that they actually turned it up at 8 o'clock. They turned it up 5 decibels, even louder to make it even worse. So I'm asking that you also revoke.
You're at 3.
Okay, I just have a quick comment. This is documents from, these are city ordinances. There are, the Common Council has the ability to revoke, suspend, or cancel other applications for events, such as the Hills Has Eyes. When there are, I'll read this, it's chapter 169, ordinance 169. The Common Council may deny or conditionally approve any application for a license available under the municipal code, or suspend or revoke any existing license where the Common Council finds that the applicant or premises supporting the license activity are not in compliance with all applicable statutes, ordinance, government codes, rules, orders, and license terms, which would include the permit. The applicant operations on the premises or the premises supporting the license activity
4:30.
caused or were subject
Down,
of violent or profane or, so I'm just saying that you should
Got it.
suspend their license for Halloween because nothing has changed. I know you guys are saying
Lots
things,
changed. A
well, the
lot.
speakers were turned, but the noise level has not changed. It hasn't. This event was just as loud as all the other events that have been over the years. There's
We'll
nothing.
see what happens
There's
with the
no-
police department.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm just saying there should be multiple citations. Like Joyce said, if she was driving DUI
Right.
5 times on the same day, she'd get 5 tickets. So that's what needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? See no one. Close citizen comment period. All right, we're going to refocus here. So item C, approval of the regular common council meeting minutes of August 20th, 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Item 2, Special Common Council meeting of August 27th, 2024.
Motion to approve.
First and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Under D. David, hearings, we have none. Under E as in Edward, organizational mayoral appointment, Mira Kresovic, 8810 South 51st Street, Alderman District 4, Board of Water Commissioners, 5-year unexpired term expiring at 9/30 of 2027.
Motion to approve, sorry, didn't know if you were done.
I'm done. There's a first. There'll be a roll call here.
Second.
There's a first, second by Mr. Picarelli. Roll call, please.
Alderman Picarelli?
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman?
Aye.
Alderman Hassan?
Aye.
Alderman Barber?
Aye.
Alderman Craig?
Aye.
5 ayes, no noes, 1 absent, motion carries. Thank you, Mira, if you're listening. Under F as in Frank, no letters and petitions. Going into G1. D6, resolution imposing conditions and restrictions for the approval of a special use for an indoor and outdoor youth soccer training business. Use upon property located at 111141 West Forest Home Avenue. Kelly Ledger, Field 99, applicant Best Marshall LLC, property owner. Mr. Fuchs is here, but we may go strictly into a approval from Plan Commission, or we're gonna have discussion. Alderman Eichman.
Thank you. I have a question for clarification purposes. I read within here that parking was not needed. If we look at first page 14, at their May 9th, 2024 meeting, Plan Commission recommended approval of special use application for Field 99 with the added condition the applicant obtain a parking agreement with the adjacent property owner Holtz to provide overflow parking.
They worked it out.
Okay, I was wondering if they worked that out, because there's kind of information here that states they were going to do that, and then if we go to page 16 at the very bottom, it says there's 18 parking spaces available between 5 and 8. Applicant is noted there are
I'll
adjacent.
talk first.
Owner Holtz Motors has additional parking available if needed. So just for clarification purposes, are they going to be using Holtz's lot, not using Holtz's lot? That was just the only question I had.
Okay, so the Holtz came here with them, they talked about it, they actually worked an agreement out, and then discussed it at Plan Commission, and we were good with it. Anything more to add on that?
They are just, they won't be using Holt's lot. They are working it out with them. They're adding some parking to the property they're operating out of. And as the mayor stated, the owners seem to be coming to a solution for the parking.
Thank you.
Move to approve.
Excellent. First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G2, D3. Standards, findings, and decision of the City of Franklin Common Council upon the application of Ted Balistreri of College Avenue Associates LLC, applicant for a special exception to certain natural resource provisions of the City of Franklin Unified Development Ordinance. Mr. Fuchs.
This is a request for impacts to a wetland buffer, wetland setback, and young woodlands on the, mostly on the College Avenue property. And it's to allow for a drive from College Avenue that would connect to the Salvation Army property that's to the south. And then that has a connection to the former KFC property. So it provides a drive from College Avenue to that for additional access. The applicant has made attempts to, initially the drive was within the wetland itself. They were able to pull that out and just have it impact the buffer and setback. They are requesting to not include in the conservation easement young woodlands that are located east of the proposed drive. That's an area that there's a good opportunity for future development. So they don't want to, so they want to include those impacts with this request. They are proposing mitigation in the form of enhancements to the wetland. There's debris within the area, and they'll do invasive species removals as part of the project. And then, so the Plan Commission and the Environmental Commission both recommend approval.
Excellent. Any further discussion? Alderman D3, want to make the motion?
I would make the motion to adopt the standards, findings, and decision of the City of Franklin.
Second.
Second by Mr. Craig. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. G3, resolution conditionally approving a two-lot certified survey map being a redivision of a part of the northeast 1/4 of the northeast 1/4 of Section 1, Township 5 North, Range 21 East. City of Franklin, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, Ted Balistreri, College Avenue Associates LLC applicant, 6311 South 27th Street, 6341 South 27th Street, and 2821 West College Avenue. Mr. Fuchs, anything else to enlighten us on?
It just combines and reconfigures the three existing lots. So the College Avenue lot will be combined with the former KFC property. And then there's some land swapping with the Salvation Army
Perfect.
property.
Any further discussion on this? Mr. Hassan?
A motion to adopt resolution.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Eichmann. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Have a motion carries. Sergeant, thank you. Balistreri, thank you. Good luck. Options, G4, options to update the 2025 Comprehensive Master Plan. Mr. Martinez, good evening and welcome, sir.
Good evening, thank you. The city's comprehensive master plan was adopted in 2009, and the state law says that comprehensive plans should be updated every 10 years. So it is kind of out of date and needs an update. However, the law doesn't define the scope of an update. So there are several options. It could go from reaffirm the existing plan as is, or to do our entire new plan. So what staff recommends and is looking for direction from the Common Council to proceed and start to work on it is kind of an incremental approach. So we will be doing a first step in-house, that is to update the demographic data. So the plan was prepared in 2009 with census data from 2000. So now we have the census data 2010, 2020, and all the population projections. So we will be doing that update of the demographic data. So no budget is anticipated because it will be an in-house project. And then the second step, that will be like a full rewrite with an outside consultant or a selective update of some parts of the plan, but that will depend on the available budget. So what the staff is looking at this time is direction on the Common Council on the first step to allow staff to proceed with the update of the demographic data in-house.
Okay, so I guess before we start talking about it, if there is any more, I fully support doing the in-house. We've talked about this. First step makes the most sense. There's no cost budgetarily other than it's just in-house. So I think as the motion is put here, if there's anyone that have comments, great, but that's an effective motion to do an in-house update first.
I'll make the motion.
Second. First and second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you very well.
Thank you.
You are up for number 2, G5, Traditional Neighborhood Development, TND Ordinance. What have you got, sir?
Yeah, similar to the comprehensive plan, what the study is looking here is direction from the Common Council to start this project. This is also an in-house project. So the traditional neighborhood development is defined in a state law as a compact, mixed-use neighborhood where residential, commercial, and civic buildings are within close proximity to each other, end of quote. One local example is the village of Greendale. And according to state law, every city with a population over 12,500 is required to adopt this traditional neighborhood development ordinance. The current situation is that the UDO refers to the model ordinance, but is not adapting the ordinance to the conditions of Franklin. So, and the ordinance, the model ordinance created by the University of Wisconsin says that the model ordinance is meant as a guide and should not be adopted as is. So what staff is proposing is to start to work on the model ordinance to fill the blanks, because the model ordinance has some blanks that is to be filled by the communities, and then adapt the ordinance to Franklin. This is just to start to work on, and we will present draft versions for the Plan Commission and the Common Council to review to kind of define the final draft. This draft ordinance is not intended to kind of to impose this type of development. It's only to allow a different type of development that is the traditional neighborhood development. This is an in-house project, so no fiscal impact is anticipated other than staff hours, and it may require legal review by city attorney. The Plan Commission recommended to staff to proceed with the traditional neighborhood development ordinance.
Motion to proceed with the draft TDA or TND.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Picarelli. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Well done, Regulo.
Thank you.
G6, an ordinance to amend ordinance 2023-2569, an ordinance adopting the 2024 annual budget for the Capital Improvement Fund to provide additional $2,129,586 in appropriations and $2,120,000, doubled here, resources for the Johnson Controls Energy Efficiency Project. You could clear that up, Madam Director, as we get in there, if those numbers are correct on that. Madam Director of Finance, and whatever we happen here will be a roll call too, on top of that.
Okay,
Laura.
yes, those numbers are correct. It's the same exact amount that is needed to be appropriated for expenditures, and then also the loan proceeds coming in from the tax exempt lease purchase agreement that was approved at the last meeting.
Thank you. Questions from anyone at this point?
Motion to adopt the ordinance.
Second.
We have a first and a second, and a roll call vote is required.
Alderman Craig,
Aye.
Alderman Barber.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Picarelli.
Aye. 5 ayes, no nos, 1 absent. Motion carries. G7, resolution authorizing the installation of a fence within the 20-foot private planting screen plat restriction upon Lot 12 and Block 1 of Tuckaway Green Subdivision, 7512 South 77th Street. Michelle Williams, applicant, looking for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G8, back to Madam Director of Finance. A resolution approving a partial property tax recession and refund for parcel number 747-9979-002. Anything you want to comment on it? I mean, it's already.
I can just speak to it real quick. The property owner had reached out and said that back on July 16th, one side of his condo, Unit A, was approved for a refund of his property taxes, and he was supposed to get it for both. And so after reaching out to legal, it was recommended that he gets the same exact accommodation for Unit B that he received for Unit A.
This is in D6.
Move to approve.
Second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G9, a resolution authorizing certain officials to execute a development agreement for public infrastructure improvements with Master Halco, Inc. for 7407 South 27th Street, tax key number 761-9994-006.
Motion to adopt.
We have a first
Second.
and a second by Mr. Barber. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G10, approval of the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act and inclusion into the employee handbook. There's a motion here, it's pretty obvious it should go through. Is there
I'll
any,
make the motion to approve it.
I'll second.
we have a first and a second, any further discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G11, a resolution for acceptance of a stormwater facilities maintenance agreement and a stormwater management access easement for 6941 South 68th Street, tax key number 743-8978-006.
Motion to adopt.
I'll make second, but I have a question also.
Okay, we got a first and a second. Got that logged. Discussion, Alderwoman Eichman.
Thank you. Just the verbiage, just for my own knowledge, is more of a learning experience maybe for all of us. If we go to paragraph 3, it says property owners of 6941 South 68th Street Conservancy for Healing and Heritage are required to install green infrastructure improvements as part of their single-family home construction. This isn't a single-family home, but it's just that the normal verbiage is implied here, or it's an outlet building that's going to be used for the general public. It's not a single-family home.
I'm going to state that it's, the verbiage is as it sits, whether it's the property owner, 6941 South 68th Street is the accuracy of the statement, so I would go with that as being accurate. And we have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Thanks.
Aye.
Aye.
One more time, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you. G12, a resolution authorizing certain officials to execute a development agreement for public infrastructure improvements with Yaskawa America, Inc., DVAF, Two World Packaging Circle, Franklin, Wisconsin, tax key number 900-0009-019. Is a motion here?
I'll make the motion to.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. City Attorney,
Only that the mortgage pages within the agreement are not filled in. I checked with staff, there is no mortgage, so per usual, staff will write in no mortgage, et cetera, on that pages.
is that being a amended motion, or is that,
No.
you good?
Just, no.
Okay, did we have a first and a second on that?
I made the motion.
I second.
Mike, second.
Nice, thank you. So we had a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. On G13. A resolution for acceptance of a water main easement at 2W World Packaging Circle, Franklin, Wisconsin, tax key number 900-0009-019.
So moved.
A second, with a correction, if it matters or not, it says item number Automatic District 2. This is not in my district. I don't think it matters, so does
That
it?
was a test, Alderwoman, and you did very well.
Thank you.
So, Mr. City Attorney, could you please comment on what you just said? Is there a comment on this?
I'm just looking through my
Kelly?
reference document, I'm seeing the no mortgage on property. No mortgage on property is on G13, yes, section 12.
Okay, no, that's fine. That doesn't affect this motion. Excellent. So did we have a first and a second?
Yes.
Excellent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. G14, back to the Finance Director. An ordinance to amend ordinance 2023-2569. An ordinance adopting the 2024 annual budget for the general fund to transfer $100,000 of engineering personnel costs to non-personnel costs.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, further discussion, anything from anyone? Mr. Craig?
So we lightly touched on this on the 27th of August. How, is this only to get us through the end of the year? Is this going to carry over into next year? Like, how many hours? And I know it's very variable because
It's
it's
very fluid, you are correct.
dependent on the level of expertise of who would be handling projects. But I'm just concerned of if the well goes dry, what's the next step? Is it higher budget, larger budget amendments, or what's behind door number 2 is, I think, is the best sort of.
Well, I can speak to the workload. It is extremely abundant, and we are looking to bring in experts from GRAFE to address the needs of the projects that need to be moving forward. There were a number of items that have been sitting for months, so unfortunately, we have to have GRAFE jump in and kind of lead. And the cost for hourly support, it varies upon who would be touching it. And from a developer standpoint, the projects that do have developers on that would be, I believe, charged back to the developers. So, but, unfortunately, we have a lot of city projects. and there's a lot of work to be done on those city projects. So I can't, I don't have a magic 8 ball. I'm sorry, I can't tell you. There's just been a lot of work trying to figure out where every project is at.
See, there's one, hold on, ma'am. So there's one thing to add to that, Alderman, is what the Madam Director of Administration just touched on is these are, we're uncovering months of things that weren't done, and we don't have a clear path. It wasn't just like, oh, here's your list and here's your order and here's what's all got to get done. There's a lot of searching going on here. And to quote Monty Hall with your door number 2, 3, 4, and 5, we're at door number like 60. So we've got a lot of doors to uncover to get to the bottom of things, and it's not an easy task, and it's not going to be a cheap task. So I think what the best part is as this goes through, we have updates, and we asked to have those updates, I think, back on August 27th, and we will have those updates. It's not going to be a surprise about, oh my goodness, here we go. We're going to know as we go. I mean, literally, it changes daily. So we have Alderwoman Eichman, then Alderman Barber, but Mr. Craig, you still have the floor.
I think that I'm good for right now.
Yeah, and all I can speak to is, going through the budget through the end of the year, this $100,000 is what is being recovered from the 2 vacancy positions that we can transfer over. But as to how far that's going to take us, we're unsure. So again, we do still have some contingency dollars that may hold us off. But just as we come forward with the progress and what the week workload looks like, then we'll have a better answer.
Oh, are you yielding, sir? Okay.
I just
Alderwoman
was
Eichman.
going to state that in the August 27th meeting, that's why I had requested that we have that follow-up meeting to see where we're at financially with the projects and so forth, that we're going to schedule for after budget time sometime in, I think we said December, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there. I yield.
Yes, ma'am. Alderman Barber.
Where does the hiring process stand right now for a new engineer for the city? And as we go through the budget process, are we allocating money for into the 2025 budget as move forward at that point? So I'm just 2 questions that are background.
I can touch unless you want to start.
I actually don't know where we're
Okay.
at.
So right now, the position was posted in numerous places for the head engineer, for Cities of Franklin engineer, #1 spot. And Dana was off today. I think I'll be probably seeing her tomorrow. She's back in. She had like 8 or 9 applicants as of last week. And, the search is out there, but there's nothing that's been brought forth yet for a process.
And I think as far as the budget goes, again, because this is so new, we haven't had much of a chance to determine what the engineering position looks like in the future. However, for the mayor's recommended budget, we will have dollars budgeted for the city engineer position. However, that may change depending on the outcome.
Thank you.
Is there a roll call vote? There's a motion here? Somebody like to make the motion?
Already did.
Okay, so we got a first and a second. We're good? All right.
Nice.
Okay. Barber and Eichman, roll call, please.
Alderman Pecorelli?
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman?
Aye.
Alderman Hassan?
Aye.
Alderman Barber?
Aye.
Alderman Craig?
Aye.
Excellent. 5 ayes, no noes, 1 absent. Motion carries. G15. An ordinance to amend ordinance 2023-2569, an ordinance adopting the 2024 annual budget for the general fund to transfer $10,000 of contingency appropriations to finance auditing appropriations for additional financial services. Madam Director of Finance.
So item G15 and 16 go together. It was brought to my attention during this last budget, this last audit, that the city's reconciliation process was completely out of date. For our tax account and our general fund account, we had it reconciled to a point that the auditors were able to perform their auditing duties and provide a financial statement for 2022 and 2023. However, some of the internal processes haven't been followed in the last few years, and so they are I've asked them to come in and help us get all of our reconciliations caught up through 2023 so that they can help us implement new processes in 2024 to make next year's audit process easier for us.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Piccarelli, comments?
Yes, I had a question on the statement of work. So on the first page, it has schedules and account reconciliations limited to 16 hours a week. And then on page 2, under section 3, schedule, it says we expect your needs will require approximately 40 hours of services per week starting September 9th, 2024. So is it the other 24 hours a week are going to something, or are those in conflict with one another?
Yeah, I get what you're saying and I see how it's written here. However, after talking with the auditors, they had recommended that roughly they would start working with us the week of September 9th and work to our needs.
Okay.
And he anticipated roughly 60 total hours would be needed to get us through the end of the year.
Okay.
We didn't have a set schedule put in place at the moment, but that's based on our needs. He recommended roughly 40 to 60 hours of work would be needed to finish this process.
Okay, so that'll be over probably a few weeks.
Yeah, it would be starting September 9th, and like I said, get us through probably, he suggested probably the 3rd or 4th week of November they would be done.
Okay.
Thank you. We've got any further discussion on this? This will be a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
Alderman Barber.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichmann.
Aye.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
5 ayes, no noes, 1 absent. Motion carries. Tied to the hip, G16, resolution engaging Clifton Larson Allen LLP to perform financial assistance duties on the City of Franklin financial statements and records.
Motion to engage.
Second.
We have a first and a second. This is not a roll call. Mr. City Attorney.
I conferred with the treasurer today about potentially using the standard city form, and I did locate one from 2023 or something, as opposed to this form. So perhaps the motion would be, this wasn't the one, the other.
No.
Right. Perhaps the motion would be motion to adopt the resolution with the agreement to be in such form as approved by the Director of Finance and Treasurer, the Director of Administration, and the City Attorney.
So are you wanting me to reach out to them to do the standard form?
Well, they've done it previously. And I believe I found some teens also on the quick check this morning.
Okay.
So
As
we'll
amended.
get it done either way.
It shouldn't have to come back though, correct?
Correct.
Okay, then that's fine. I can reach out to them tomorrow.
Okay, as amended, Alderman?
Yes, as amended as the attorney's recommendation.
Who was the second on that? Mr. Hassan? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G17, provisions to the City of Franklin nepotism policy.
Motion to approve.
So we've got a motion to approve.
I'll second.
And we've got a second by Mr. Barber. Any further discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G18, population estimate as of January 1st, 2024. If there's anything special on this, if not, it's just simply a motion to accept and
Motion to direct.
Second.
we have a motion to direct. We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G19. Going back, Mr. City Attorney on G18.
Looking at the council action requested on the action sheet for population estimate, the motion to direct, the first one's motion to place on file. The other one, motion to direct, which was the word used, reads Director of Clerk Services to submit challenge based on information provided by staff. So it's a challenge to.
Motion to place on file, I correct?
My second will hold with that.
You're in agreement with Mr. Barber.
Correct.
Okay, so that's a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Good catch, Mr. City Attorney. G19. General Cyber Attack and Technological Crimes Prevention Strategy. The Common Council may enter into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 1985, Sub 1, Sub D as in David, to consider strategy for crime prevention and the furtherance of the program and policy and tools, therefore, for crime prevention, i.e. cyber attack prevention and technological crimes in relation thereto, for the protection of the city's technical and information infrastructure and the city officials, employees, and the public who use the system, and to re-enter open session at the same place thereafter to act on such matters discussed therein as it deems appropriate.
Motion to go into closed.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Alderman Pecorelli?
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman?
Aye.
Alderman Hassan?
Aye.
Alderman Barber?
Aye.
Alderman Craig?
Aye.
5 ayes, no noes, 1 absent. We are going into closed. Let me know
Recording
when
stop.
on this one.
No action needed.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Patulski. Let's go into licenses. Who's taking this?
No, wait, G20.
Oh, I'm sorry, G20. It got crazy.
Show and tell,
All
pass
sorts
it
of
on.
crazy. Authorize the professional service agreement between the City of Franklin and Edie Bailey Phase 1 migration for Microsoft Office 365 tenant licensing and 2FA infrastructure funded by account numbers 01-0144-5257 and 41-0144-5843.
Move to authorize.
I will second.
First and a second. Any further discussion?
I do.
No.
I have just a couple questions, real quick.
Alderman Picarelli?
All right, so the first question I had was, there's a reference in here about Teams enabling some conference rooms, I think was in here.
We currently are using Zoom rooms right now for it, and that's currently on. I'm not quite sure if the equipment Polycoms that we have actually turn around and support Microsoft Teams for it. Majority of our video conferencing is not going to be done via Teams, it's going to be using Central. Central actually does have a video conference client already built into it. We're already paying for it, so not really a lot of benefit.
Okay. And then the second one I had is, there's, estimates in here on how much work it's going to take to do all this, right? Do we have experience with in the past executing on their estimates, and how, if so, how close have they been to their estimates?
This is the first time relationship with this vendor, so there has been no direct experience from them actually keeping it on track or not. So I know from experience, I do know that we are dealing with companies that, one person I am working one-on-one with this, it is actually a form of Microsoft to pay for onboarding large companies for it, so I do know they have the depth level of experience for it. So I have a fairly strong level of confidence that yes, they're going to turn around and meet their target timeframes.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? Do we have a first and a second?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We do
Thank
not
you.
need a roll call on that. Good. Moving forward to licensing. Well done, Mr. Patulski. Well done, sir. Thank you for all your time and effort. This is insane. Licensing committee, who is taking this tonight?
I will be mayor. So licensing committee met this evening. This was given to me, Jim. I'm not sure why.
For you to give back.
Just a look at it.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's go ahead with the
Alderwoman.
meeting, please.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. All right, let's start
Go
over.
ahead with the
License committee meeting. License committee met this evening. Present were myself and Alderman Craig. Absent with being excused was Alderwoman Day. The extraordinary event for CESC Fall 2024 Youth Soccer Festival and Tournament was approved. The additional date for the Franklin Health Department Community Health Improvement Partner Meeting was approved. The first operator license on here, we are holding, requesting an appearance. The second operator license, definitely an appearance is requested, as well as correction of application. They listed no arrests. I stopped counting after about 15, 16 or so and stopped, and it continued on. So definitely a correction of application. They have nothing listed on their application. And then we would also like to have them appear. And the third operator was approved. And then we adjourn the meeting.
Excellent. Is there a second on this?
I'll second.
All right, let's do a roll call on this.
Alderman Craig?
Aye.
Alderman Barber? Alderman Hassan?
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman?
Aye.
Alderman Pecorelli?
Aye.
No, we didn't. Yeah.
Eichmann is the first,
Oh,
as
yeah.
the presenter of
Right.
the,
Yeah.
of the
She's the first.
recommendations
Yep.
from the committee.
Greg's the second. All right, that's 5 ayes, no noes, 1 absent. Motion carries. Vouchers and payroll approval, item I as in Ida. There are 3 points. This is also a roll call vote. Motion approving the following city vouchers with an ending date of August 29th, 2024, in the amount of $3,909,799.89. Point 2, payroll dated August 23rd, 2024, in the amount of $490,023.47. And payments of the various payroll deductions in the amount of $509,481.15 plus city matching payments, and estimated payroll dated September 6, 2024, in the amount of $469,000, and payments of the various payroll deductions in the amount of $275,000 plus city matching payments.
So move.
Second.
First and a second, roll call, please.
Alderman Craig?
Aye.
Alderman
Aye.
Alderman Hassan?
Aye.
Alderman Eichman?
Aye.
Alderman Pecorelli?
Aye.
5 ayes, no noes, 1 absent, motion carries. Before we enter into adjournment, just a reminder about this upcoming Friday's special announcement, which is going to be huge, 11 a.m. here at City Hall. Everybody should have got an email on it. Good. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. We are adjourned, slowly tripping off at 8:39 p.m. 8:39 p.m.